Separating together is what it says on the tin. So the concept comes from lots of couples at the moment who are ending their marriage or their legal relationship. They want to do it well. They want to have a good divorce, and that's a foreign concept to a lot of people, but you can have that. And it's this idea that you use one professional, one solicitor, to help you navigate your way through that separation, instead of having one lawyer at this side and another lawyer at this side, constantly sending things backwards and forwards, and you feel like you've got lost in all of that. So having one lawyer in the room there facilitating those discussions between the two of you means that you're less likely to misinterpret what's being said. You can speak directly to one another about what's important to you, and ultimately that person holds both of your hands, helps you move forward and helps you look forward with confidence without all of that bitterness that comes with these legal battles that people have had to get into over the last sort of 20-30 years of the normal traditional divorce route. I think the main benefit is that you will feel more like you're in control of your relationship with your former partner. Sometimes when you use two lawyers, they will write down what you have said and then turn it into a letter, and then that letter becomes their words and not yours, and ultimately then it ends up being two lawyers having conversations that are nothing to do with the couple. Whereas if you are in the same room with one person, able to have a controlled discussion that's peaceful, that's respectful, then that means that your separation is ultimately going to be better. You're going to end your marriage in a way that isn't bitter, that isn't acrimonious, that just gives you that solid platform from which to move forward with a much better mindset. It should work out cheaper, because if you think about how lawyers have worked traditionally, they will charge you on a time spent basis. So if I have a conversation with my client traditionally, I'll charge them for that conversation. And then I'll have a conversation with their former partner's lawyer, and I'll charge the client for that conversation. And then that lawyer will charge their client to relay what I've said, and that's another layer of costs. And it all comes from the same pot of assets. If I have both parties to the separation in the same room, I don't need to repeat to another lawyer what's been said to me. Likewise, that lawyer doesn't need to pass on that information, because we're all in the room together, or we'll all be on the same call. So it should shave the costs down by about a third, because you're cutting out all of that extra conversation. Instead of paying for the same conversation 3 times, you're having it once, and it means that's what the cost is. And the beauty of this product is we've tried to work out how many of those conversations will happen, work out the time that would be spent on it, and then pin a fixed price to it, so that everybody entering into the process gets certainty. They know what they're going to budget for, they know how it's going to be shared, and where it does come out of one pot, they're not worrying about it being unfair and that one person's paying more. They're paying the same price each, they're making the same savings together, and it means that they're not wasting money on lawyers. They can spend it on them and their children moving forward. It should be much quicker than a traditional divorce, because you're not waiting for people to reply to emails or letters. You're not having to wait for information to be passed on between the parties. How it should work is that each party gets assigned their own support person within the process. They bring all of the information together in a much quicker way than is usual, and then we all get in the room together, we review it together, we allow people to then take a bit of stock, take a bit of time to reflect on what's been shared and what's been said, and then come back together to try and sort things out and agree a deal, agree an outcome. It is much more flexible, and ultimately it gives the people involved control. If you go to court, if you use other forms of dispute resolution, there's a person making a decision there, and in some cases there will be a timetable fixed that you've got no control over.